Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NuWhoZone. We're here for a town called Mercy. There is a prequel to this story as well, so we're going to be diving into that first, and then we'll get into the main episode itself. So I'd like to welcome everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I've sent out the emails, and we're going to get straight on to bringing our guests on. So let's do it. Without further ado, we got the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello. We're back to actual Doctor Who now on a Sunday.
Yep, we are indeed. And our next guest is the one and only PD Rich.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Doctor Who again. Not terrible Doctor Who on a Sunday.
That's it. Decent Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I was actually watching, because it was on the TV. I was actually watching what's it called? The Weeping Angels one with River Song and the Tunnels.
Oh, the Manhattan one.
Yeah.
Angels or one off.
And as you know, we do mix it up on the panels. Because before we did Series 13, we, as I said, the panel that we do have for New Who is normally Charlotte, PD, Rich, and Alpha Omega. But because Alpha obviously is not feeling too well, we have someone to take his place until he comes back, until he's fit, ready to go. It's the one and only Problem Big.
Yeah, you'll have to put up with me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we'll just have to put up with Lee for a while until Alpha. Anyway,
sorry everyone. Sorry,
because Lee's a classic Who fan, as you know, so we leave him on the classic panel. But because Charlotte is a Matt Smith fan, and obviously we've been doing classic as well, where because
and it's his last series.
Yeah,
No, we've got one more, haven't we?
Yeah, we have
this series.
Yeah, part 1 and 2, but I mean it's still the same
And
series.
2 specials.
Yeah, still the same.
Three specials as well.
Yeah, there is a prequel to this, guys. So I just need to ask you on the panel if you have the prequel.
Let's have a look. What's it called?
That's how to make a gunslinger or something. Just put in a town called Mercy prequel.
All right, town called Mercy prequel.
It should come up that way. Easier that way. Holden says, "Thank you for introducing me to classic Who. Watched the Giants again this morning. I'm glad you're enjoying it." Also, just to say, we were supposed to have Autumn on with us, but he's not feeling the best, and he won't be coming on this week, unfortunately. So he sends his regards to everybody and his apologies.
I'll get better well soon, mate.
But look, if you're sick, you're sick. There's nothing you can do about it. So, Making of a Gunslinger, it's called.
Right, is it 1 minute and 46 seconds? Can I confirm?
That's the one, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
one. That's the one. Yeah.
Sweet.
Right, so Chris is just going to wait for the episode. Some years will just wait for the episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the little prequel now, and then Unknown did say it's on that site there. If you want to have a look in the chat there, apparently it's there. If you're ready, please press 1, and we will get this prequel on the way so we can get to the main episode itself. So we've got 1-1. We'll just wait for a couple of more. Yep. It's on BBC Catch Up, says Holden. Okay.
Yeah, it's also on YouTube.
I was going to say it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's on YouTube, and that's not. There you go, YouTube. So we got a couple of more ones. We'll give it. There's another one.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
on YouTube, and the channel is DWTV Videos, and it's called Town Called Mercy Prequel Full Doctor Who.
Yeah, and it's written by Toby Whithouse as well.
There you go.
So it's good.
Yeah, it should be. Well, we'll find out. I've never seen this prequel.
Good.
There's a couple of these that I have seen, obviously, but I haven't seen this one, so this is new to me. So
Yep. Do you want me to do the countdown? Because I see
Right.
quite a few.
yeah, you
ones.
might as well. You've got loads of ones there.
Yep. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Ugh.
The Making of a Gunslinger, written by Toby Whithouse. Okay. Wow, that was a bit.
Yeah.
Right. Is that why
So
they did
basically, a shit Cyberman.
No,
Well,
it's a
Well,
side story.
well, if you're explaining the kind of the gunslinger and how he came about, that was actually quite dark there.
And that's what I'm wondering. Is that why it was a prequel or a minisode or whatever, and they couldn't actually get away with putting it in the episode?
Probably because that was very dark, man.
Yeah, it's the old
For Doctor
sci-fi
Who, I
trope,
mean,
right?
like we're used to it, you know what I mean, with other shows, but not for Doctor Who, man. That was, yeah. All
It
right.
was like a cyber conversion, wasn't it?
So here, just to let you know what's
Doctor Who
coming in
said.
the next few weeks, right? So we got A Town Called Mercy this week. The Power of Trees the week after.
Yay!
We've got the Angels
Oh,
taking
not
on
again.
Doctor Manhattan.
Oh yeah.
The one where we
Understand
say goodbye to Amy Pond and Rory. Well, it's the start of them leaving. Oh, that's
Spoilers.
Yeah, leave.
Yeah, everybody's seen it by now. If you haven't seen it, where have you been
Spoilers,
living?
I leave.
We might have some noobs.
Right. Well, I doubt that very much. Anyway, if everybody is ready now for the main episode, please press 1 and we'll get this show on the road. And yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this now. I'm going to admit, when it was first out, I wasn't particularly, look, it wasn't bad, but I didn't think it was great either. So it'll be interesting to see if I have a different opinion on it this time around.
Remind me of the gunslingers.
No, it's not that. I found the episode too. I don't know, it was just a bit too boring. There wasn't enough going on in it, in my opinion. But that was at the time. So, you know, at that stage, I was kind of hot and cold with Matt Smith's Doctor because of the stories, like not him, but the stories in particular. Moffat just kind of, for me, just kind of start making it up.
I think the thing is, this for me is a blatant character episode, but he set it as a western, So
Yeah.
it's like you expect, like you said, more action, more thrills.
Yeah.
But actually, a character exploration of the Doctor,
Mm.
really. If you maybe you'll pick that up when you watch it again, but that's what I've always seen this episode as.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's do it. Unknown says it wasn't bad the second time I watched it. Right, well, that gives me hope. So, without further ado, anyway, we'll get Charlotte to do the countdown, and we'll get this show on the road. So, Charlotte, go ahead.
Yep. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Ugh.
He's progressively sounding more ill.
Ugh.
There was a man who lived forever. Is that a real American accent?
That sounded a bit camp in the
He fell
beginning.
from the stars.
Yeah, but even though I love Matt, sometimes when he does an American accent, it can sound a bit camp as well.
Yeah.
In fairness, they did get real Americans to play Americans in this, though, didn't they?
Ben Broder from Stargate and Farscape. Yeah. But as I said, the cyborg trope is an old trope in science fiction. We've had it from the 60s and the 70s with the cyborg trope making the super weapons. So that's where it all comes from. So you can't really date Cyberman or anything.
Oh, well, I
It's
don't know. Cyberman was probably first, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you know. We've had it in Babylon 5. We've had it all sorts.
Yeah, that's why I
places.
think in this story they have the biggest. It's not the theme of the story isn't so much the sci-fi cyborg stuff.
Oh, mine's acting up now, obviously. Piece of
Yeah.
shit.
I think they explore this episode looks at war. I think
Yeah.
that's the way they were writing this and directing this more, and sort of like we were sort of saying with scientists, like where's your moral line and how when you cross it, what the repercussions of it.
God, Time Storm looks good in this one.
Oh yeah, they're not messing around with it too much.
It looks even worse.
I hate the fact that they got a different Doctor Who logo in America every week. We got the same stupid one.
Yeah, they had it for the whole series. We didn't get it until Series 7.
I'm going to need a timestamp in a minute.
Well, we're just on the
1 minute
end of the title sequence, Lee.
All right, yeah, hold on.
Saul Metzstein, he's a massive Doctor Who fan. A friend of mine worked with him. Saul Metzstein, Scottish guy, massive Doctor Who fan. Had Peter Davidson on set.
Oh, I bet he had fun then.
Yeah.
Right, timestamp, please.
Coming up to 2 minutes.
I'd say 2 minutes 15 a moment.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But I like the effects on the cyborg. I think it's good effects.
Yeah. They had the budget for this one. That's what I always said about it. I don't know where they went to film this. Was it Sioux City? And
They did go to America anyway.
I know they
'cause
went to America for a lot of the filming for this.
They
Yeah.
probably filmed in Utah or something.
yeah. I know
Or
it's
like
not.
Texas or somewhere.
Yeah. I'm sure that's not Sioux City. And I have to find out where they filmed this. Is that Sioux City? In Lanzarote. Roy's screwing up again.
Oh.
See, it's charming when Moffat would do those lines.
Just looked up-
Almere, Spain. This one was filmed on the set of
Oh.
$500.
So is that in America then, PD?
No,
Sorry.
it's Spain. It's Almere,
Oh,
Spain.
okay.
The surviving set
Spain?
for $1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
For $1,000, the set still stands.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
that
yes.
makes sense actually.
Yeah.
They wanted a proper Western set, so they went
Yeah.
and got one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, just look at him.
Trophy.
It's a bit of a rip-off of Back to the Future, though.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
what
he
I
knew
always
what he was
found.
doing, Moffat. There's so many tropes and like homages in this episode.
Yeah. I think that's why I didn't like it the first time I saw it. It was too tropey. And again, it's a fun
Is you an
episode.
alien?
Yeah. Throw him out. Ooh, it's all about segregation.
This is pulp. This is Moffat doing. I don't. He didn't write this
Yeah.
one, but this is pulp, pure.
Uh-huh.
Got to cock 'em first, guys, but be careful cocking guns at the moment.
Yeah. It's alright, Alec Baldwin's not on this episode.
You just randomly see a member of the cast get shot. Sorry, too soon.
We shouldn't really be laughing about it.
I know, too soon. Yeah, it's Ben Broder from Farscape and Scargate.
Yeah, you're not going back, Doctor, not with those pointing at you. See, even the blinking out effect's good.
Yeah. When we had good special effects. I miss the old days.
Well, it's not just See, to be fair, the effects aren't the worst thing of current lot, really.
No, it's just the acting. And the scripts.
Yeah, so everything else, just the effects seems to be one of the few things they can actually do.
Apart from the cut and paste Daleks.
Actually, so far, man, this is very enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's a good mystery. That's what also this episode has. It's a long burn mystery about the cyborg and what's going on.
Thanks, Chris Chibnall. You made me look even more now. And Stephen Moffat's writing. You made me like Stephen Moffat's writing even more now.
Yeah, that's much better than some of the stuff we've seen.
But in fairness, we'll see if this story holds up because
Yeah.
This is Matthew.
This was another thing that Moffat liked to do, playing with the whole.
Chris is looking for a timestamp if someone could give it to him.
Coming up
7:30.
to 7:30.
10 minutes, 30 seconds.
See, compare this. Like, Matt is doing a bit of speaking of the plot, but it's so much better.
Yeah.
He's a famous actor, isn't he, this guy? Or a well-known British actor.
Fanboying.
Adrian Scarborough played him.
Yeah, I think he's one of those that's been in loads of stuff once you click the face.
Let's make an alien. Oh, what should we do? Let's put a bit of green squiggle on his face.
Yeah.
Well, come on, you can tell blatantly all the budget went to the cyborg.
Yeah, Gene Roddenberry's School of Science Fiction.
Yeah.
Got a bump on its head. There you go. It's an
Yeah.
alien. He did skin a slightly green. Yeah, he's been in loads of stuff. Gosford Park.
Yeah, I liked him in it. I remember I liked him in it.
King's Speech.
If I'm correct in saying, doesn't he die?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I
Tooth
like
Man
him.
and Miserable. Yeah, it's been loads of things.
Yeah, he's one of those
1970.
jobbing actors.
Major Hepburn in 1970. Yeah, it's been loads of things.
It's like that. He's like that character in what was it, Daleks in Manhattan?
Yeah.
The what's his name?
Are we talking about the sheriff? Or the alien doctor?
No, I'm talking about the sheriff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Solomon, was he called in?
Yes, that's the one. Indeed. Yeah, they're kind of both the same.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Well, they're sort of men with principle. The theme is.
Yeah, both men of principle. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I did to see it's man. I just look. Even though Moffat was all over the place, he still understood what Doctor Who was. I just don't know why he kind of threw a bit of the fairy tale shit in it and all the other nonsense.
Well, I honestly think the more I've sort of thought of that, I think that was him wanting to be different to Russell a bit.
I think he was trying to he wanted his era to be. Yeah, you're right. He wanted his era to be different to RTD's, but at the same time familiar, but put his own. Yeah.
Because Russell was so grounded, and you could see he wanted to have it that late all day.
Look at look at his little bow legs.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, the horse. Yeah.
Susan.
He's got the perfect legs to sit on a horse, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I speak horse.
His little rickety legs.
I wonder if he really did get up on the horse and
knowing that, he probably did. He probably didn't do all the riding, but the close shots, he probably, as much as he could get away with, I wouldn't be surprised.
So this is the story after the Dalek one, isn't it? So this is Amy and Rory's first adventure with the Doctor in a while, isn't it?
Yeah, they've been away because she has that line in a bit, which I love, about this is why you need somebody with you. See, even here, like I think a lot of it is the actor. To be fair, like they're portraying this Doctor as this really good character, but you just get a vibe, don't you? That there's something not right with him.
Like naughty, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, he does want to redeem himself. If I remember correctly, that was the whole point. He did want to try redeem himself, and that's why he stayed with the town, and he did all those things because he was trying to be a good man, like.
Well, I argue that I think the writer made the alien Doctor a mirror to the actual Doctor, and the way they interact in a bit, they're so similar in some ways.
Man, Jesus, they went to Spain. Holy shit! Like,
yeah, went to Spain for it.
Yeah, Chris Chibnall went to Spain as well, and he went to South Africa twice.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Waste of bloody money that was.
Yeah, that was definitely a waste of money.
Yeah, the waste of license fee payers' money.
Yep. Like, you don't mind them going to different locations, especially, I don't mind if they go to different locations if the story kind of is good to back it up, spending all that money being spent.
Because, like, look at these shots on the horse and all this stuff. You couldn't get away with doing this in Cardiff.
No, against green screen.
It needed to be an actual proper location.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. That's a gorgeous shot with the sun.
It is.
Yeah.
It actually is.
And it's not CG as well. It's just pure good location shot.
Yeah. It's also much better color graded than the other day in the corner shop.
Oh,
that was horrible.
Yeah, do you know what? And I'll wait till we get near the end. But the more we watch Matt, the more I think weirdly Jodie's aping Matt.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the series we just watched, the more I was thinking that, I was like, God, you're trying to be really badly.
Would it be more interesting if she tried to ape Peter Capaldi? That would be really interesting.
God damn.
The thing about her is that she should have just been her own doctor. Just
yeah, exactly.
not-
Yeah,
just do it your way, and if it didn't work, it still didn't work. But don't copy David Tennant and Matt Smith. But mostly, I do agree. I think she's mostly Matt Smith she's trying to imitate.
yeah.
I think to begin with, she was Tennant, and then
Yeah.
the series we just watched, it was a lot of Matt aping I was getting.
Yeah. I thought it was Kerry Katona on drugs, to tell you the truth, but that was just me.
Oh, hello, Daniel. Hope your football was good.
Hey, Daniel.
It's like an egg.
It looks a bit more like something else. I won't say it on stream.
Oh, a lady thing.
No, that's what I can get away with it, like a pill or a tablet.
Yeah.
Well, hi, Melina, love. Good to see you in the chat.
Hey, man.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Yeah, I got roped in.
Lee's our backup.
I am.
Yeah, until Alpha comes back, he's obviously not well. And again, we send out our best wishes and get well soon.
Yeah.
And welcome to my world, yes. Now, this is when you start to find out about the Doctor. And you see our Doctor's reaction.
Yeah.
See, this is why I love Matt's Doctor. Just look at his face, right? And
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not telling you what the Doctor's done. It's not telling you the horrible experiment, not in detail, but you can tell he's done this all through Matt's performance.
Nicely directed as well. You know, and the
Also great
cinematography is
director.
very good. Fair point.
Yeah, but it just shows then in that moment he's not a cold-blooded murderer. Even with all the stuff that's happened to him, he won't harm innocents.
No, it won't.
And now this is putting the Doctor in a moral dilemma. It's like, can I condemn him?
here we go.
Oh, the rage, the storm is coming.
Oh.
Yeah, that intro we saw was actually from the video that Matt's doctor saw.
Yeah. And what do you think the real world story they could be alluding to is right now?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a certain one which has a lot of parallels if you take away the sciencey, fantastical elements.
Whatever Amy said.
There we go. It's like looking at a mirror. And this is the switch.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
even Rory backed him up this time, though, you know? Even Rory was like, I'm taking the doctor's side on this.
Yeah. No, but I was thinking of this today. This is the first time the Time War's been touched with Matt's Doctor properly. Because I know we had the Dalek episode, but I almost class the Daleks as their own sore point for the Doctor.
Hang on. Sorry.
Yeah, I got problems.
Melina, let me know in the chat. Have you got 193 subscribers? Because if you do, I'm going to make it a mod on the channel so people will know that which account is real and which isn't. Have you got 193?
Her and Chris are talking about it, so I think Chris is working it out.
I think she does have 193 subscribers.
Just be very careful, mate, because there was a fake in the chat with the real Melina, so you don't want to pick the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is for... Okay. Right.
That might. Yeah. Careful, mate.
Here we go, and this is the Doctor's anger now. Every time I try to negotiate. So this is all about him now.
Okay, let me try something.
Melina said something in the chat that should help you.
The other one's the real one.
Right.
Don't do it just yet. Just
There, she's moderator now.
Woo!
What is going on?
just waiting for a response.
Okay, I'm not sure if I can just.
Fella.
Yeah, Melina, you're moderator. It's grand. I know who you are now. You've got a wrench.
Yeah, got the right one.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the right one.
Oh, look, Doctor Who talking about lynching mobs. That's relevant for nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how a group just band together and just become everything that's worse in themselves.
Very relevant. Saw it in Series 4 as well. With the half.
Yeah, but even here, this young chap, you completely understand why he's saying this and why he's doing it. All the actions, the characters, the motivations you get. He's just scared, and he just wants to protect his family or his town or his friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he talked them down.
Give me a Dalek any day.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing his coffee next week. He's having fresh coffee. Yeah.
And he now he's sizing them up for his suit.
Got a bit of dry sense of humour.
Yeah. Gallows humour. Yeah.
Oh God, I've just realised something. Every time I close my eyes, I hear them screaming. That's what Peter says in his next regeneration.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've always thought this character was a mirror, but that is spooky. That is literally a line the Doctor's going to say in his next body.
Yeah. I think that's the whole point of this character, isn't it? It's a mirror of the Doctor.
Mm.
So this is really an analogy to the Nazi hunters
I think so.
of the 1950s. And
Probably, yeah. Like I said, this it's weird that they picked a Western a little bit for this because it's such a character-driven, character sort of analysis type of story. But like I said, maybe they picked the Western so they can have that whole theme of lynching mobs and the whole town turning against somebody, because that does work in a Western setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this line. His soul will be in my arms. I think that's a lovely bit of dialogue. What is your morality? See, that's how you talk about morality, Chibnall, when it comes to the Doctor. Not have a character basically tell her she's moral.
New Rock boots. Just saying.
They get them off the Jadoon. Borrowed them from a Jadoon. My third and final pair, I think. They're getting really cheap now. They're getting more expensive, but the manufacturing's getting really cheap now.
Yeah, I used to love New Rocks.
Yeah. They still cut my feet. They still shred your feet to bits.
Oh god, yeah. Especially the bits with the metal parts.
Yeah, shred your feet to bits when you get your first new pair of New Rocks. After about 6 months, they're the most comfortable boots you ever worn.
Yeah, sturdy as fuck. Spanish leather.
Yeah.
Nice bit of score. Maybe doing something a bit different. See, Lee, they're working in your little thing about how it's a bad alien design by having everybody else paint one on their face as part of the plot.
Yeah. It's paid off this time.
That's what I mean. But it's almost like they knew, oh god, this is a cheap effect. Oh, we can use that as part of the plot and as part of the solution.
Yeah. That is a good use. That's what I like about this episode. It's so tropey, but it's a good kind of way.
Oh, you can do tropey if you know you're tropey. That's what I've always think with TV, especially.
Yeah, and Sol
If
Medstein knows.
If
He
you're
knows
clever,
trope. Yeah.
if you're clever with your tropes and you know you're using them,
Yeah.
it's when you're full of them and you don't realise it. That's
you
the
need
worst.
an element of self-awareness, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sol
you
is
really
self-aware. He was a massive Star Trek fan and a massive Doctor Who fan, so he knows it.
Yes, and Toby Whithouse should have been showrunner.
Yeah.
Or like deputy or something.
Yeah.
Tell you what though, we might get him back. We never know with Russell. Because Russell probably knows he's a fan favourite writer, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pops back up to write an episode.
Yeah, it all comes from Frankenstein, the cyber trope.
Oh yeah, Frankenstein was the sort of the beginning point, and then everything's just sort of done their own version, even if they don't know it at this point, using Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So I always find it amazing how, like, for her time, and obviously because of the historical attitudes and everything, how Shelley got no credit, and she's just basically all that you said. All cyborg sci-fi stories have to pay some credit to Frankenstein and Mary.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Next week, the return of Jibs.
Yeah.
Oh, Rory's dad's in it for a scene or two. At least that'd be entertaining.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. Okay. Everybody in the chat, do us a favor and give you the scores in the chat. Also, as you've noticed, there's been a little bit of shenanigans going on in the chat. If you could do what Melina has asked, that would be absolutely fantastic. We're not going to get into a big thing about it because that's what they want. So just report those channels as they come in. Thank you. So let's get straight into this town called Mercy. So we'll start with you first, Lee, because you weren't a fan of this story when we asked yesterday. So, has your opinion changed, or do you still feel the same?
Well, I didn't really watch this with much enthusiasm the first time around, but having seen this now again and kind of realizing the sort of what it means, I'm finding this problematic. It's very morally ambiguous, which I seem to think is strange, because if you look at the story, it's really based on Nazi hunting, from what I can see. And they kind of skirt around it, but I can understand they want to protect the town. I get that, but we're talking about someone who's committed war atrocities, war crimes, and rather than handing him over for justice, he goes to great lengths to protect this guy, and I find that slightly weird. Like, I know that his idea of justice is not killing someone. I understand that, but I mean, it's something so overtly analogous to something like hunting down Nazis after their war crimes, throughout the 50s and 60s and on, where these people were rounded up over the years and either imprisoned or executed.
Yeah, some also work for the American space program.
Yeah. But I mean, to me, it's like, for him to go out as a hero is a mixed message. To take himself out and he was so honourable and he was a good person, really, and he was, I don't know.
I don't think they're saying that though.
Well, that's how it sort of comes across. It's a sort of heroic self-sacrifice, for the betterment, to as some sort of what's the word? As a redemption.
I would say it's more the idea of redemption. I'd say that's more than a hero sort of thing, because he still, at the end of the day, decides death. He's deserving of it, and he needs to do that to give the cyborg closure.
Yeah.
So he's not thinking of himself as a hero while he's doing it, I don't think.
No, I just find that it's very mixed. It's a bit of a garbled thing, So I just think it's I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me, frankly. I can see, they're using analogy and blah blah blah, and but the actual message in it is a kind of confused muddle of morality. It's a very morally ambiguous story. I kind of see that as something that doesn't sit very well with me, the way it was concluded. It's just like, let the Nazi sort of off and then trust him to just run away and take the problem elsewhere. That's not a good message. I'm sorry, that's not a good message. So yeah, I don't know. I just find that just doesn't sit very well for me at all, actually. So yeah, I mean, taking that, when I first saw it, I wasn't paying that much attention. Now I have. Yeah, it's very weird. It's a very weird story, and I don't think the message is a particularly good message, honestly.
So what would you give it out of 10?
I don't know. I can't rate this one because it's borderline offensive, but it's Yeah, it's a strange one. I don't know.
No.
I don't think it warrants me giving it a
Okay.
rating, quite frankly.
That's fair enough. We'll go with you next, Charlotte.
See, I've always really liked this episode, mainly because of what it does for the Doctor. And like I said, with Matt's run, you hadn't really seen the Time War touched. You hadn't really seen that hatred and anger of himself before this episode touched. Like I said, you had the victory where you saw his pure hatred of the Daleks. But I do think even though the Daleks are a big part of the Time War, they're their own set of issues for the Doctor. And I think because of, like I said, the Jack's character, I always forget the Doctor's name, is his mirror, and they purposely sort of put them next to each other to sort of see like how have they both dealt with their pasts and reconciling that. And I think you really see the Doctor go through a lot of, like Lee said there, you can see the characters almost don't know what to do for a good chunk of this episode because of his crimes, and it is a bit a moral dilemma. But like I said, I don't think they're the sort of making a hero of him at the end. I think, in a weird way, it's him actually accepting his crimes, accepting that he doesn't deserve basically to carry on living because of what he did to the soldiers and the cyborgs. So his ultimate punishment, and I that's how I've always seen it, to be fair, his punishment is
The death penalty.
yeah, that's how I see it, and I've always seen it like that because they could have just if I think if they were fully trying to say what he was doing was okay, they would have let the Doctor just let him run off. But they don't do that, and I know the Doctor. It might seem a bit odd. Why is he being so willing to accept this guy, considering how angry we saw him when he first saw the video? But I think the Doctor's compromised here because of his own history. He can't take a usual objective view because there's so much stuff that's just, like I said, that whole speech when Amy talks to him, he's not talking about the Doctor, the alien Doctor anymore. He talks about the Master, about how this time I'm not going to negotiate. How many lives have I sort of let die because of the Master, the Daleks? And that's sort of a criticism you do see of the Doctor now and again, of why does he let these big enemies just keep on going when he knows fully what they can do? He knows if you just let the Master die for the final time, he would be saving thousands of lives. But he can't.
Yeah.
So it's that's what I mean. It's dealing with that. And I think that's why the Doctor is sort of at the end protecting him. Not because he likes him or because he agrees with him, because he doesn't. But I think it's sort of that idea of him saying, and also the idea of the circle of violence. And he's sort of saying, at a point, you have to be the person to stop that.
Yeah.
You have to be the person to step up, even though the person probably does deserve every horrible thing that's coming to them. And he does, because it's his crimes are, like I said, you can't help but link to real life some of the stuff in this episode, especially with the idea of weapons and how what certain countries in history have done in wars to fight to win, and the things they've created in our real life. But like I said, I think the Doctor's, he knows all that. And I think that's why at the end he goes, no, I have to be the one to break this cycle. Because more people are going to get hurt, and we're not going to really get any justice. So I can see where Lee's coming from. I completely can. And maybe this was a bit too much of a heavy theme for like a one-off episode to deal with. I don't know, but I've always liked it because of the sort of themes and the character stuff, and the little funny sort of stuff at the beginning, like when it was sort of a bit more comic, like slapsticky. But it's sort of, I think it does the tone thing quite well, actually, considering it is so heavy in bits. But you can have the light, so yeah, no, I'll give this a 9. Like, so I've always really adored this episode, but I can see where Lee's coming from.
Okay, Lee, would you like to add actually add into that? Because, like, she has made some very good points there. Would you be inclined to sway?
I don't disagree with the the elements of the story in terms of all the other things. I just think if you're going to make that kind of analogy, you really need to be sort of more acute with what the morality is. If you're presenting a moral tale, and it's very analogous to something in recent history which is extremely an extremely touchy subject, and it's based in America. A lot of the Nazi hunts were in America.
Well, it's not just that group. There was also another group, wasn't there, that got hunted in America because of political reasons.
Well, this wasn't political. This was war crimes.
Oh, but I'm saying America's got a history with communism.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like the McCarthy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. But, the McCarthy thing didn't really stem from, killing several million people.
Oh, no. I'm just saying that some similarities, not complete similarities.
Yeah, I just think, I agree with what you're saying about, the general story and presentation, the acting and all the rest of it. That's all wonderful. But that one thing just is a sticking point for me because it's so... what kind of messages it's sending out about hunting down people for war crimes, and just let's just let them go and run away, and then make it someone else's problem, and then the guy who's the doctor who's done all these horrible things just goes, well, I can't make it someone else's problem anymore. I'm going to take myself out, and look at me, I'm had a redemption, and I'm now the bestest ever, and I'm going to do the honorable thing and take this. I'm not sure of many stories of former Nazis who did the same thing. So I don't know if there's any analogy to that, but I could be wrong.
PD.
Yeah, I quite like this episode. I can't understand where Lee's coming from, but I never saw the analogy. Probably just me.
Well, I just did. War crimes.
Yeah,
doctor. He said himself like a mad doctor. Like Mengele's kind of thing. Yeah, and it's not subtle.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's actually quite...
It's not subtle, and it is in your face, like, though.
Yeah.
To kind of, because it'd have more of an impact that way, wouldn't it?
But it's the kind of... I mean, let's look at what happened to that character. In the end, he was just told to run away, and you'll escape, and it's
we can
forgive you. You've done nice things.
Though is that he does realise by the end. Yeah, it might be obviously.
Yeah, but how many Nazis did that? If you're going to use an analogy, then stick with the analogy. If you're going to turn the analogy into a fairy tale, that isn't representative of what you're appropriating from. And I hate using these words. I'm sorry, but in this case, I think it's valid because it's you're kind of saying, just let the Nazi run away, and they'll, it'll be all right, and then it'll be someone else's problem, and that's a very morally ambiguous statement, really, to me.
Yeah, but like I said, I would agree. I'd 100% agree with you if he did run away and there was no consequences.
But there was,
But
the consequence was by his own hand. That's the problem I have with it.
And that's, I think that, in a weird sense, is actually a more powerful message, that it wasn't an outside group that did the punishment.
That he came to the realization himself that he was this evil and he didn't deserve to live.
Yeah, but that punishment should have been designated by the people he committed the war crimes against. It should have been down to them
left
to decide. I mean, he was the one left.
He should have had the Gunslingers War as well. He did say, I was doing this so the vicious circle doesn't continue.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think got the vicious circle idea as well.
Up to stop the gunslinger from taking his life because he didn't want him to live. You know what I mean? He knows what he done was wrong. So instead of the gunslinger doing it, he decided to do it himself.
Yeah, but the doctor let him run. and then clearly that would have created that cycle where he would have been on the run again, and it would have continued. But the Doctor made that decision.
Yeah, but like I said, Lee, the problem is the Doctor can't be. The Doctor's history means he can't make a sound judgment. Let's put it that way.
I know, but that's the writer, right? The writer. You don't have to get the Doctor to kill him or allow him to be killed, but if you're going to tackle this subject, then you have to find something analogous in history where something does happen in order that justice is delivered.
Well, in fairness,
and making him have a redemption arc, and he takes his own life. I don't think that that's very true to the analogy you're borrowing from, right? You're borrowing from historical events. A lot of these Nazis did not take their own lives. They went out and tried to pretend that they have a different identity and got away with a lot of shit. And I just think that if you're going to tackle this in a science fiction context, at least if you're going to borrow from history, at least represent it properly. And this is a problem I had with Rosa. This is a problem I had with a lot of historical episodes, particularly in the Chibnall era and the Moffat era, where they are quite happy to take all the best bits and present it in this very skewed way. But it's not, even when it's analogous or if it's literal, they tend to obscure a lot of things, and it becomes very morally ambiguous. And I think that's the danger you run. This is why when you do political stuff in science fiction, you've got to be very careful. You've got to be very clever. And avoid these pitfalls, because
this is why the subculture war started, because they weren't being clever, they were just being open.
Yeah, so I think
it just turned into communist trash. I
think I understand what you're basically. You think if they would have picked a different historical thing to point towards or to use as inspiration, then you could tell this story, but because for you they're touching that part of history, you can't do this story. Tell me if I'm wrong. That's which I get. Like I said, I completely understand.
Yeah, I mean that's just how it came off to me. Like it just didn't sit well with me, and I think if you just look at it more than just on the surface, you dig a little deeper and you think that's very morally ambiguous, and just sort of making him do a heroic thing at the end doesn't help things. It doesn't. Yeah. Take the Nazi away,
Still technically a Nazi,
Yeah, okay, he took his own life. Well, hey, woo! But really, that kind of redemption. If you look at the history in which they're taking inspiration from, did that really happen? Maybe
Albert
not
Speer.
so much.
Only one, Albert Speer.
Yeah.
Anyway, PD, go on, finish your.
Yes, it's got a lot of kind of tropes from everything, all over the place. Tropes from all over the place, from Frankenstein. As I said, Nazi hunting as probably being suggested. All over the place. I thought it was quite good. Didn't like it when I first saw it because Ben Broder died too fast. And I like Ben Broder from Stargate and Farscape. But I gave it, I think, an 8. I quite liked it, even though it was very tropey, but it was tropey in a good kind of way, I think, now after seeing it for the 4th or 5th time.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this, obviously, as I said.
Look, it's better than the one before and the one after.
Yeah. So I'll give it a 6. I'm not giving it any more than that because there's, next week is the next couple of weeks actually are a bit shit, to be quite honest with you, but that's just the serious and but 6. But look, everybody makes makes a lot of interesting points there. I can understand where Lee is coming from. At the same time, I'm kind of swinging towards Charlotte's point of view on this, though. To be honest, because that's the way I actually see it as well. But I mean, this is. Lee is actually made me think about something there. That's so.
I think if we're going to criticize Chibnall for moral ambiguity in his writing and not hold that same standard to Moffat or anyone else, then it's for me it doesn't feel honest, and I'm just being.
I don't know. I don't see it though. That's the thing. I don't see it that way.
I think this is proving a good point that we can all watch the same episode.
and get
And get something different from it.
and a
Yeah.
different meaning from it. Yeah.
viewpoint.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this is a good, healthy Harlan-Ellison-esque debate, though, we're having.
Interesting.
It's what
We
I
should
like
have
about
a
it.
debate on this actually episode
This
in a
is the
few
kind of
weeks'
things that should
time,
come
and-
out. Was it about Nazi war hunters, or was it just about some alien criminal?
Yeah.
Or just a sort of, like you said, the more Frankenstein almost vibe of having
Yeah.
a creature or weapon and the creator, what happens afterwards.
Yeah. Or a trope of
Interesting.
Frankenstein, yeah.
Very interesting. Anyway, I'm back on Tuesday with Jack, if I'm right. I think myself and Jack are going to be talking a little bit, looking forward to the future, actually. He wants to come on and talk about RTD, so we'll be doing that on Tuesday. So come and join me for that. As I said, we'll be bringing back over the next few days, we'll be bringing back Rick and Morty and all of that. But next week on New Who, it's the Power of Three. Chris Chibnall hunts us yet again. But
We'll have a sickie next week.
But we'll watch it and we'll see if it's better than we fucking remember. What I remember of it is that the first 20 minutes were actually decent.
Yeah.
See, I can remember the first like 5-10 minutes and then just being bored.
All right.
Like, no, tomorrow.
So Chris is going to stick with his 6.5. Okay, he did round it to a 7, but now he's gone back to a 6.5. All everybody's YouTube channel is getting thrown into the chat, and we're going to leave it there. I want to thank all my moderators anyway. I know you have been a little bit busy today. It's been a bit of a shit show on Twitter yet again. Not getting into it though, because that's what they want. But I've been sent some obscene stuff today, just today. It's you know what? It's kind of weird. It is, you know. Lee made a good point. Certain account out there gets called out, and then all of a sudden I'm being harassed. Accounts, fake accounts are being set up, and now obviously we've seen it in the chat tonight. People imitating other people that we know. It's absolutely disgraceful. Look, I'm not getting into it again because we've already done this. I'm not giving them any airtime, but it's absolutely vile. But they're not going to get a rise out of me or Lee or anybody anymore, because you know what, losers, she's lost the war, so fuck off. We won. RTD's coming back.
Off to Venezuela with them.
And you can take your Jodie Whittaker, doctor. You can take your Mandip Gill, Yasmin Khan.
Shove out your
and
ass.
You can take your Chris Chibnall and you can shove them where the sun don't shine. Bye-bye. Good riddance. Don't let the door hitches on the way out. And I'll say goodnight to you all in the chat. Good night. Panel, say goodnight.
All right.
Panel, say goodnight.
And we will see you soon. And
doesn't work that
before we do go, I just want to send a little message to RTD. Get Russell. Shane for 14. Make it happen.
Drop the hint.
Make it happen. We'll see you later, folks. Have a good one. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.